In a world where Goku never regained the power of Ultra Instinct, a lot of things change. When the Tournament of Power ended, Goku told Vegeta that he couldn't tap into the Angel Power anymore. But then Goku was later forced to not only regain Ultra Instinct, but perfect it to the point of using it at will against Moro. But in this story, Moro never breaks out of prison. And as for Goku, not only does he never unlock Ultra Instinct again, but now he finds that his God Ki has started to leak out of Super Saiyan Blue, making it so that the time he can use this form has been cut in half. On the day our story begins, Goku had no idea of what was coming as he trained in a deserted land with Gohan, attempting to find a new power to replace Super Saiyan Blue. No idea of the danger that he would soon face. The ground beneath them shaking viciously, the Saiyans were forced to turn to the direction of the nearest city, which was being covered in flashes of red light. Someone was attacking, and as red beams struck down the innocent civilians, a shrill laugh echoing from building to building covered over them. "Balls, I have all the confidence I need to finally get rid of these Saiyans," Frieza exclaimed, unable to contain the rush of rising excitement. Goku's anger surged through him, turning into physical strength as a golden hue spread around his body. This feeling, "That's Frieza," he growled. "I won't allow him to take their lives away. I promise you, I will save them no matter what." "What are you saying? Will you really try unlocking that again? Don't you remember what attempting that new power did to you last time?" It had only been a few weeks since that day on King Kai's planet, when Goku had felt a strange sensation rush through his body. Goku had finally felt a brand new breakthrough coming, the first since his loss of Ultra Instinct and his ki had started failing him. But with that same sensation beginning to fade, Goku pushed himself more and more until finally, a beautiful orange spark of power shot out around Goku. But the burning sensation that it left spreading throughout Goku's veins was almost unbearable, and the spark started to flicker. He can't be there yet, King Kai thought to himself, before a terrible scene met his eyes. Goku felt like his body was breaking as he fell to the ground, his new spark of energy disappearing. "That's all the time you have left? Your body must have eaten through the rest of your ki again. I told you that would happen if you go outside the limits of Super Saiyan 3. Meanwhile, Gohan had been at his house when he had suddenly become terrified by something he couldn't feel anymore. Dad, I can't sense his ki, where is it?" Just then, Gohan jumped up from his chair. With the smallest hint of someone's ki suddenly appearing, Gohan knew something terrible had arrived at his home. Running to the door, Gohan found a man laying on the ground. And as he got closer, Gohan felt his heart sink. Goku was balled up, unable to move from what seemed the most intense pain he had ever felt. "I'm sorry. 1 hour is the longest I can maintain at this time." Falling to his knees in sorrow, Gohan was in disbelief. "That you only lasted in your forms for a single hour? But my training, it helped, didn't it?" "Huh? What do you mean?" "Even if my training didn't get me all the way there today, it's helping me reach my new level, right?" Of course." Gohan's mind had started to race. Whis had warned them that Goku would need to rest his body until they could find out why his ki was leaking so quickly, that he could cause long-term damage if he kept overtraining. Gohan's anger was starting to boil. How many times would he have to remind his dad of this before he would finally get it? "No. Your training this time didn't. You never learn. It's your fault. It's your own stubbornness that destroyed your time limit. And you still don't even know what is causing this." Even Goku's body, which had been shaking in pain, was now still. Had he ever seen his son so upset before? "Dad, you still don't want to stop your training?" And even though it had now been weeks since that day, Gohan still couldn't believe that Goku was actually thinking of using such a risky move, even if it was Frieza. With your complicated ki, even if you can manage to break your limit this time, your style is using brute strength from increasing your ki. Using a more powerful form would be, you can't become the strongest with only one way to fight. Goku closed his eyes, and before Gohan could say anything else, Goku had found what he needed. And just like that, everything was going as Frieza had planned. After I've been waiting for so long, finally, the heroic weakling has shown up. Frieza smiled as Goku suddenly appeared in front of him. Seeing the destruction that had been caused around him, Goku couldn't help himself. His power upgrading to Super Saiyan 2, he lunged forward. What is this? I'm not sure, but if you think you can come at me with this low level by yourself, then you're even dumber than you look. Quickly throwing his arm out in front of him, a light shone from Frieza's fingertip and bursted towards Goku. But then, there was nothing. His attack, Goku, even his surroundings, everything had disappeared and been replaced with wasteland. Looking around him with a frustrated curiosity, Frieza barely had the time to dodge a foot coming straight at his face. I don't think I'm the dumb one here, Frieza. You forgot I can dodge your attacks just by transporting away from them. Instant transmission? Frieza simply shrugged. But will you have the time to do that against a higher level? As Goku had feared, Frieza was swiftly and with ease encasing his body in gold. As the next beam came flying towards Goku, he was forced to admit, "You're right, I can't handle the power of Golden Frieza anymore." With a flash of blue, Frieza watched in disbelief as his beam was suddenly thrown off its path and projected itself to the side, appearing closer to Frieza so suddenly that he didn't have the chance to notice Goku had even moved. Goku explained, "But the moves you like to make, you're a lot more likely to use those sneaky, unexpected attacks. So I learned how to counter it." Goku finished as he reached out to grab Frieza's shoulder and yanked him closer. With another strange presence of blue aura, Goku punched Frieza in the face with a force so great that it made Frieza believe he must have been mistaken. Was Goku really only in Super Saiyan 2? Meanwhile, unable to let go of the nagging feeling that Goku would push his limits too much and fall into a helpless state of pain, Gohan had decided he must follow behind his father. Although it took him far too long to find where Goku had teleported himself and Frieza to, Gohan had arrived just in time to find something he had never imagined possible for a Saiyan. The bizarre way Goku was fighting, the unexpected blue flare that resulted in a strangely powerful punch to Frieza's face, Goku's speed, his power, where was this coming from? But as he continued watching his father land hits and block attacks that just simply couldn't be handled by a mere Super Saiyan 2, the answer came rushing to him. Did he just change his forms when he attacked? But now his ki feels different. Is he saving it up for only when he attacks? Gohan remembered what Goku had told him. You can't become the strongest with only one way to fight. If I take those words literally, then Dad's goal is to fight without depending solely on his maximum level forms. It's a really outside-the-box kind of thinking for him, but if that's the case, then in order to continue his fight without his ki draining completely, he's staying in his lower level forms to save up his ki while blocking, and then using Super Saiyan Blue only in the instant he attacks. Dad, he's actually thinking this through. But just as Gohan was gaining confidence, Goku was starting to feel uneasy. And if you want to help create the future of this fan manga, join the AniFam on Patreon.